8:35 p.m. on a Sunday, Boston, Massachusetts.
Guys, I got some news, some terrible news. We got a huge problem.
I feel like we could do a podcast, and it would be a million times better than whatever that drivel was we were listening to.
What the hell is a podcast? What is that? The future of radio, you jabronis.
Hey, yo, and welcome to the Always Sunny cast. I'm your co-host, Eric.
And I'm your co-host, Ross.
And this is the podcast where a couple of badass shitheads go through Always Sunny, episode by episode, scene by scene, and we dissect it, we regurgitate Wood. What's that guy's name? Gordan Wood.
It's a Gordan Wood, like it's a Gordan Wood textbook, and we, just crack some eggs.
We talk about Always Sunny. We break it all down, and we see what makes it so funny. And today, we have a very, very funny episode. And now, I'm going to get this out of the way right now.
Okay.
The gang reignites the rivalry. That is a hard word for me to say. Ross, say the word.
Rivalry?
Rivalry. That's a hard word for me to say. Sometimes I listen back to the podcast and there's like words I sound ridiculous.
Hey, it is what it is.
So I just want to get this right out of the top. I can't. That's a hard word for me to say, so I'm going to stumble over it every time I try to say it. The rivalry. Did I say it right?
You just don't say words good.
I just don't say words, dude.
Words.
I really don't. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem with talking for like 2 hours. Is you listening back, you're
Fatigue.
like, wow. Yeah, you just stumble over stuff. Well, today we are talking Season 5, Episode 12. The gang reignites the rivalry. Original air date is December 10th, 2009. Written by Charlie Day and Dave Shernan. That's a new name, Ross. Dave Shernan.
Yeah, Dave Shernan was actually like a young writer at the time. I watched the commentary for this episode. So the gang did acknowledge Dave Shernan, who I guess the following year leveled up and became like a more important, or I guess superior member of the writing staff. But he's worked with them like ever since, and he's actually worked on the Mick as well.
Ross, thank you so much for that. That is so much more work than I did. And I was the one that's supposed to do it. So all I have here is I can tell from what I can tell he's worked on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and the Mick, and that's pretty much the credits.
Yeah, It's Always Sunny has been like I think a career-long thing for him.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
This is a great episode to start with too. Like I hope he gets a cut of the money from the shirts.
The flippadopia shirts?
Yeah, like flip it. It's like a thing. You know what I mean? Like he made that up. You know, like
I don't know who's writing his contract, but yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. And this episode was directed by Randall Einhorn. And Ross, what's the IMDb summary?
Okay. Mac, Dennis, and Charlie seek revenge on another bar after their 10-year ban from a local Flip Cup tournament, but they find they need serious practice. Dee discovers new skills, and Frank wears tight pants. What?
Wait,
Dee discovers new skills.
That was somehow too long and too short. I don't know.
Uninformative.
That was bad. That was a real bad one.
Does the gang, does Mac, Dennis, and Charlie really find that they need practice? Because that's a huge part of this summary.
No, just Dee needs practice.
Right, yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's, that sounds like somebody told somebody about the episode, and then they told somebody else.
Like a telephone.
Yeah, and they try to describe what happened. And Frank wears tight pants. Like, that's barely anything that happened. Like, that's not even a plot point.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's just a thing that happens that we just sort of talk about, but not really.
I heard off mic that you do not have a 2009 trivia. Is this true? This is a rumor I heard.
It's 100% fact. I really couldn't find anything that like I thought was worthy of mentioning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, on the day that this was released, Barack Obama received the something award. The Pulitzer or the humanitarian, the Nobel Prize. He won the Nobel Prize. He accepted that.
The Pulitzer is like for books.
I think he won an Oscar this year.
That's not even. We can't even trust what Ross just said. So no fact, no trivia fact. This is a season finale. We have no trivia fact.
Yeah, Google your own, guys. Make them up. Send us one, and then we'll repost it for you.
Yeah, well, if this is your first time listening, usually we have a fact that sort of ties in with the theme of the episode, and sometimes nothing happened in that year that tied in with the theme of the episode.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything that they reference really happened in 2008.
Oh, yeah.
Like skinny jeans, I would say is one that I could bring up, but that started as a trend back up in 2008. So
yeah, see, you want to be true to the format, so you do not talk about 2008, Ross. We already did that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't mention 2008.
It's gone.
All right, Ross. I see you're all painted up there, so it looks like you're ready to go. You're glowing.
Yeah, I'm ready to start painting myself and then take a nice shower.
All right, it's 8:17 a.m. on a Tuesday. In Patty's, as Frank is showing off his new skinny jeans, Dee comes in and lets the gang know that the ban has been lifted from Flippadopia. Frank's. They're drinking beers. I noticed it's 8:17 in the morning.
I know it's so early on a Tuesday. Like there is absolutely no reason they're there.
No, I mean it's so I didn't even catch the first watch through that they're sitting there drinking beers. But then when I watched it again, I'm like, it's that early? Because after I write down the time, I'm looking at it going, wait a minute.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Why are they even up?
Exactly. They should be snoozing until 10.
Yeah. What time do you think the bar opens?
That's a good question. I have no idea. I would imagine around noon.
I guess, yeah, maybe around noon. Well,
because they don't serve food.
Well, before they found out, Charlie was just putting the closed sign on, so it was never open.
That's also true.
It's the core sign, and but yeah, it is. Yeah, I wonder what they don't serve food or anything, so there'd be no reason to be open
Yeah, they don't get a lunch crowd.
It doesn't even look like they have walk-by traffic where they are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very industrial. There's a factory
They seem like they're behind a building.
Exactly.
It's how I would describe where they are. They're behind a building.
They're behind a building 3 streets away from the main part of the city.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so they're drinking early here, and Frank is showing off his skinny jeans that he got because he wants to stay hip and young. And I don't think he's pulling them off really.
Maybe if the shirt wasn't tucked in.
Yeah, why? Yeah, the shirt's tucked. Yeah, why? Is the shirt
it really
tucked in?
does throw the emphasis on the Humpty Dumpty look that Charlie brings up.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. And I love how they're talking about whether or not he should keep this look. And I love Dennis's just word choice of he's getting tremendous enjoyment. The word tremendous.
Yeah, they do get amusement out of Frank.
Yeah, they do.
And they're like, you're a clown. Keep doing that. I want to keep laughing.
This guy raised them.
That's true. It's hard to. That's something that's always in the foreground,
Yeah, because sometimes he acts like a father, especially when he first showed up.
Oh, 100%.
He had status, but almost like this. I think this episode specifically too, he has no status.
Yeah, he's looking at them for direction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's not taking charge or anything. Yeah, he's just going with the flow. I like when Frank does that though. So he does that sometimes. He'll just go with the flow.
Yeah, he's a good floater.
And so yeah, Dennis getting tremendous amounts of enjoyment out of his jeans, and the Humpty Dumpty vibe, like you said. Charlie sneaks that in, and Dee comes in with big news, bitches. The ban has been lifted. And she undoes her jacket to reveal her Flippadopia shirt. And I mean, this is the classic shirt. I mean, you can buy this. This is what you see people wear this.
Yeah, all the time. This is kind of like a novelty shirt.
And I also did look up, is Flippadopia a real thing? And I could not find anything about it.
I don't think it is. Maybe in post,
yeah.
at college dorms, they would do that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, how cool would it be if there was a week where a bunch of bars went up against each other with Flip Cup, and you would go to each bar home turf or whatever, and people would go there and drink and watch. You know what I mean?
You mean the bar owners doing this, or
or the
just
staff? The
city?
Staff. I would the staff versus staff.
I mean, it'd be weird. I don't know why we would need such a thing.
You don't think that would be fun? I don't think we need it, but don't you think it'd be fun?
Sure. Yeah, I'm in for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
That would amuse me.
you'd get tremendous amounts of enjoyment.
Yeah.
So, and then they get so excited. Dennis specifically in the middle gets real excited about this.
Yeah.
And they start singing Flippadopia.
Flippadopia.
And they do this thing where it's like flip, 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 and then D says Adelphia. Like
and they're doing like a body roll with it
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
They get like a dance. It's a song and dance.
Presumably they haven't done this in like 10 years.
Yeah, you have to imagine. Yeah.
And they explained to Frank that it's a citywide Flip Cup tournament, and back in the day they were the bar to beat.
Sure, until they got banned in '98 for poisoning the other team.
Well, unfairly accused,
Yeah.
as Dennis puts it. Unfairly accused, but he says, oh, you were framed? No, we did poison them, but they didn't have proof.
Like, can you be accused of something you... Like, it's weird for them to say they didn't prove it, but, like, they did definitely do it. Like,
There's people like that, though, where, like, they'll, like, if they think the other person doesn't have evidence, they presume they're innocent.
well, I
They're
think
like,
that's
well, say
what
I'm
the
innocent.
whole game of court is.
I mean, yeah, it's just like, but it's like people that will get mad if like if you don't have proof, but you'll still like accuse them anyways, and you know they did it, but you don't have proof. They'll get mad at you, like, oh,
Yeah.
you don't have proof. It's like, but you did do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's funny how Dennis phrases that. And of course, Dennis phrases it like that too.
Mm.
The bar. There's some dive bar apparently down the street named Molly's. We're hearing about now. You would think their rival now would be Mr. Kim's.
Oh, sure. Yeah. There's a lot of heat between those two.
yeah, exactly. But no, it's some dive bar they call the street down the street called Molly's.
Yeah.
And I guess this year, now they're back in it. They're gonna jam it right up their buttholes, according to T. And they're like, whoa, no. Leave the buttholes to them.
You're not coming anywhere near their buttholes. Let us handle their buttholes.
That is so funny. How were they the bar to beat if D is so bad?
That's true. I mean, she's so weak that they presumably could not win a match.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she got lucky sometimes.
I guess. I do want to bring up that there is a Molly Malloy's bar in Philadelphia. I looked up just to see if there was a Molly's.
Okay,
But,
that's
yeah.
nice. I didn't look that up. No, yeah. You got to think, like, in Flip Cup, it doesn't matter how good you are. Like, the person next to you has to do it, or you don't win.
Yeah, it's a 100% team game.
Yeah.
Everyone has to show up.
It's like a team, but also individual, because you can't rely on anyone else.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's all about your individual skill in combination with your team. So,
Are you a Flip Cup player?
you know what? Normally no, but like maybe 2 weeks ago I played.
What are you, a freshman?
Back in school, baby.
Really? You played
At work.
recently? You played at work?
Yeah.
What is going on over there?
They're alcoholics, and I have to keep up in order to maintain my job.
Wow, Flip Cup at work. Wow. I haven't played Flip Cup in years. I'd rather play beer pong.
I mean, both are messy. I don't really want to play a drinking game at all anymore.
There you go. Yeah, now we're talking. Now you're speaking my language.
Now that's our speed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so she's not going anywhere near their buttholes. But come on, she's their number 4. She's their Adelphia, as she puts it. I love how she brings that back from the song.
Yeah.
I'm your Adelphia.
Yeah, how are they going to sing that song if she's not there?
Exactly, yeah. And but she choked. Apparently, she choked under pressure sometime in '98.
Mm-hmm.
But she's been practicing ever since. Do we think that's true?
No.
No, you don't think so?
Well, I think the first part is. I don't think the second part is. I mean, she's been practicing.
Well, either way, Mac wants to throw some gas in the rivalry fire. And then we get the title card that I'm not going to say because it's hard for me to say. Ross, will you say it?
The gang reignites the rivalry.
I'll tell you what I think of that title.
Sure,
I don't know.
go for it.
I like it. It's almost it's almost strange. It's just not called Flippadopia.
Yeah, like Flippy. The ban's been lifted, or
I said to Katie said, "Oh, what episode are you doing?" And I said the title, and she kind of like looked like, "Oh, trying to think." And I went, "The Flippadopia," and she went, "Oh yeah, of course."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's like the first thing you think.
Of course, there's a song and dance attached to it. How could you not remember that?
And just the word Flippadopia. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, it's great. All right, so after the opening credits, at Molly's, the gang causes a ruckus in an attempt to get Artie Sloan to sign up for Flippadopia. And they come into this bar because they called it a dive bar earlier. So they're kind of like looking around and they're like, "Oh, maybe there was some renovations."
Yeah, because on the way there, they must have told Frank it was quote a real shithole.
They did classify it as a dive bar in the first scene. So yeah,
sure.
that is what their thoughts were. That it was a shithole, I think. But isn't this interesting? Where Charlie's like, I don't know, could be a scheme.
But that's him, like, projecting
would
his own logic.
Yeah, exactly. Like everything's like I don't know. I have never schemed, nor do I know someone I think that has like a scheme.
Right. I'm not like, oh, Eric's always up to something. Like,
or just
I don't know anybody like that.
Yeah, like it's a scheme. Like the word scheme is very specific and funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
it's
very
like
implicit.
Like this is fake somehow, or they're trying to get something. You know what I mean? Like,
scammer of some sort.
I love that. Like that's how good the writing is. It's like they always filter everything through themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I don't know. It's just so good. And you know they kind of like look around, and Mac escalates this so fast. It is so funny how he does this, and the fact that the other three like on cue, like
they're like waiting for go.
They're like waiting for the go symbol.
Yeah, they all just go nuts.
Guess who, bitches? Max screams, and they all just start going to work. Like Dennis is doing like he's doing like a Korean. Dude, this is so
he's
funny.
like he just reaches in someone's plate, starts throwing fries everywhere. I mean, Dee might be the worst because she just grabs a woman's nose. Did you notice this? It just goes honk, honk, honk.
And then she's kind of humping while she's doing that.
I mean, they're all humping. Like Charlie's on the bar, spewing something out of his mouth and dry humping the air.
It is crazy. Like it is so funny. Like, and just the timing. Like, there's something about the shot where. Guess who, bitches? And they just go to work. Like exactly like you were saying, they were waiting for the go, and they all knew what to do.
Eric, on our walking tour, could we go to Molly Malloy's and just start doing this?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's a great.
Guess who, bitches? We've never been there before.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. And I love the way Dennis does this highest ranking member of the staff. It's like so like
I don't
formal
know
or something. Like
it seems like something like from the 1700s or something. Like the way he's saying it and like almost like the way he's holding the bottle like reminds me of like a bell or something.
Yeah, right. And it's almost like you know what's happening here. This is what happens. Like this is how you challenge.
Seems like a hostile takeover.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so strange. Everyone in the restaurant is remarkably quiet.
Yeah, very calm for what's happening. Especially the woman who's getting her nose honked. By the way, she's credited, and let me just slip this in.
No way, really?
Yeah, Nose Honk Girl is played by Kristen Nedopek. She was born in 1977. She's from Olean, New York. She was in Skyrim parodies, Jedi Camp, Mark of Love, and Bite Size.
Oh, Skyrim parodies. That sounds cool.
And let me get the Molly's waitress out of the way.
All right.
I don't know why she's credited. She doesn't really talk either. Ashlyn Miyazaki. She was in Infidelity, Courage, Cold Feet, and Runaway.
He calls the highest member of the staff. So this guy comes up, Artie Sloan. He's apparently the owner of Molly's. Ross, you got anything on Artie Sloan?
Yes. He's actually a friend of Charlie Day's. His name is Noah Bean. He was born 1978 from Boston, Massachusetts.
Heyo!
Heyo. I wonder if they went to Merrimack College together.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. Anyway, He was in Ed, Joan of Arc, Damages, Nikita, 12 Monkeys, and Shut Eye.
Hometown boy makes good.
I know. They were talking about how he looks like Christopher Reeves.
Really? I think he kind of looks like Tom Cruise.
Rob McElhenney said the same thing. He was like, he's kind of got a Tom Cruise thing going on, too.
yeah. Wow, interesting, yeah. And he does it, now you mentioned the Christopher Reeve thing, yeah, I see that, too. Like, he could play Superman.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Art Sloan comes up here, and I love Dennis's reaction of, like, you're not how I remember you. Now, why does he say that?
It's probably because in the past 10 years, Art Sloan and his team have leveled up. As you can see, they've made bar renovations.
Right.
And he's probably classed his own look up a bit.
Yeah.
And that shows, like, the gang's arrested development in that they haven't done shit in 10 years.
And, you know, I was going to pick up on that, too, on your point there, too, where this guy has, in the last 10 years, has probably matured, has
100%.
Grown up, and they have stayed exactly the same.
He's actually forgotten who they are. They mean nothing to him.
Yeah, exactly. They refresh his memory, and they're all wearing the Flippadopia shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And we played you in Flippadopia 10 years ago, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. We got really sick." And it goes back to the poison thing.
You acted sick.
Yeah, Dennis says you acted sick. Yeah, Dennis still can't. He can't.
He can't take the loss.
Charlie straight up is like, yeah, and maybe we put that poison in the water, the drinking water.
Yeah, and finally the people at the restaurant react.
Yeah, right. I know. They were just continuing to eat and drink.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so but I love like Dennis, D, and they go like, oh, like that kind of, but Mac is like, relax everyone, he's lying, he doesn't have any why does Mac do that?
I think he's just like, Charlie, you took it too far. We didn't poison these innocent people.
Relax. But no, he doesn't have any poison with him here, but he's got it at home in the fridge in the relish jar.
I like this little weird sidebar we get here in the middle of this confrontation.
We say this every episode where they're talking to someone and they're all on the same page, and there's a little stop down between two people, and then they go back to what they were doing. Like, it's crazy. It's like, once you see it, like, once you start seeing it, you're like, oh, yeah, here's the stop down. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Frank thought he was just allergic to pickles. So,
yes. Yeah.
What's in the pickle jar?
Well, he asked, what's with the jar with the skull and crossbones on it? Which implies that there's a poison jar in the fridge.
Why he keeps a... But, that's
the mayo.
Yeah.
That's
a decoy. Why do they need a decoy?
I don't know, because the mayo can has shampoo in it.
Why do they keep shampoo in the fridge?
It's not they, it's Charlie. I mean, because Frank's
they both
figuring
live
this
there.
out right now. Frank's been putting shampoo on his sandwiches.
And shame on Frank for not knowing.
Yeah, I mean,
that's on you, dog.
I mean, that is such a funny idea. Like, yeah, why does Charlie even need decoys or jars to switch
Why does he
around
do
jars?
any of the things he needs to do?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Wasn't he like he was filling up tomato sauce?
Oh yeah, he was
jars
emptying
with
tomato
wine?
sauce and filling them up with wine.
Yeah, it's like
as
one
opposed
of
to just stealing wine.
Yeah. So then they go back into the the conversation with the Flippadopia, but Art Sloan, he's not going to play with them. He's saying he's over that. He's not doing that anymore. He's not doing that, and they call him scared.
Yeah.
And this you see it kind of get to him a little bit. He's like, "Come on, now you're just being childish," but he kind of doesn't like them saying that.
Art Sloan used to be on their level, so I'm assuming that to some degree they know how to get him a little bit.
They're pulling him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what they do by the end of the episode.
And how's this for childish, bro?
And Dennis is just peeing in the corner by the POS system, and it's like... that is arrestable offense, right?
Yeah, that's like vandalism. Yeah, they're like,
Well, it's also like public... I don't
health,
know.
yeah, I'm sure it's something.
Well, taking his dick out in the middle of a restaurant, it's
that
like
too.
You should probably get arrested for that. I don't know.
That too. Yeah, it is crazy. It's like that is like really heightened. That's like really extreme.
Yeah, that's
like,
closing the scene.
From like grabbing people's food and stuff. That's like but yeah, he's gonna call the cops, so they start leaving. And I like this little D's like, we'll see you Saturday. Don't be late, is what she says. And it's funny because they never show up. That she says that to him. That's the last thing they say to him because they don't see him again until the end of the episode.
Not until the end of the episode.
So they're like, see you Saturday. Don't be late.
Which is perfect because it's enough time for the gang to get in the middle of the fraternity stuff for even the audience to forget that Artie Sloan's a part of this.
Yeah, exactly. So then back at Patty's, Dee struggles with Flip Cup, so the gang decides to find a replacement for her at Dennis's old frat house. I gotta say, Caitlin Olsen is incredible. Like, her physical acting is unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? Like,
she is.
It doesn't get enough credit. Like, she's truly like the Kramer of this
100%.
group.
Her
like,
physicality is unmatched between all of them.
The way she's doing this Flip Cup, and then when she loses, she like puts her hands behind her head. And she gets this like it looks so real and kind of like it's a choice.
Yeah, even her bad attempts are great. They're not like wonky and weird looking. They look like valid attempts, but they're just terrible.
Yeah, and I guess that maybe might be terrible because of her bison-sized fingers.
Bison don't have fingers.
So
they have hooves.
Each finger is like a full-grown bison.
I think that's what they're implying.
That's big.
I mean, Barbara had to have a C-section because of those hands.
No, I don't think that's true. They're twins.
Oh my god! So Dennis just slid right out, and then she had to get removed the other way.
No, yeah, I think Frank is just being a dick there, but yeah, I don't know how true that could be.
They do bring up her not being able to perform under pressure.
That is a D quality.
Yeah. I mean, think of the gang gets invincible.
Sure. Yeah.
That's a prime example. She was on Showcase. Like, look at what she can do. And then
when
everybody had a look, boom.
Oh, when she takes Charlie to go do stand-up comedy.
Oh.
So, so yeah, Dee's blaming them for screaming in her face and stuff. He reminds them that there's gonna be people screaming. Like,
yeah, I mean it's true. I mean there's gonna be a rowdy crowd.
Definitely. And Frank kicks her off the team, and when he does this, she brings up that he's not even on the team.
That's true.
And I love Charlie's reaction of like, oh, why'd you bring that up? Like, it's so real.
The three guys do like to push Dee and Frank out.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Why'd you have to bring that up? Like, just the way he's just aggravated.
But it does a little bit of the work for the writing because they did mention they didn't really have a role for him. So him just asking out loud fills us as the audience in.
Yeah. So he could be maybe team instigator.
Frank's down. That's perfect role for him too.
I love that term, team instigator. It's such a funny term, like instigator. It
almost sounds official.
You're just the guy who makes trouble.
Yeah, he's good at it.
He is good at it. Yeah. They say they say to D basically like if you can do 10 cups in a row, we'll let you be on the team. 10 cups in a row under pressure, you can be on the team.
Sure.
And they kind of give her this like challenge, so she runs off, and they obviously like we're gonna replace her. Like that's gonna keep her busy for weeks.
Like They absolutely don't envision Dee being able to do this. So
Charlie's even like, I don't think she'll ever be able.
Yeah, they just got rid of her. They found a good way to get rid of her for a while.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so they want to come up with a replacement, and Dennis knows the perfect place: the Delta Omega Lambda at Penn. Now, is he talking about the University of Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania College of Technology, or Penn State University?
Interesting, because I think they went to Penn State.
Because when I Googled Penn, that's the three that came up.
The three what?
Colleges.
Oh, well, I think before Mac is a Serial Killer, they mentioned that they went to Penn.
That's right. So I think it's Penn State,
I believe.
Penn State University? Okay.
And I did look that up, and there is no Delta Omega Lambda at Penn State.
Okay, Ross, keep that in mind for something later on. Maybe
Okay.
maybe the trivia section. I don't know.
Ooh,
Just
okay, all right.
Keep that in mind.
I did do the research, so I can't forget. But I will say that there is such a thing. It's at Mississippi State University, and it was found as an alternative to what's available to the traditional Greek system. If you're straight, bisexual, lesbian, gay, transgender, gender nonconforming, queer, or if you think labels are just pointless, DOL is for you. We are student-led, politically active, and socially driven, and we would love to have you in our organization. That's their mission statement.
Yeah. I'm going to wonder if the trivia, if they have this name for the same reason Always Sunny has this name. I wonder. We'll find out at the end.
Well, I think it's funny that I'm sort of jumping ahead, but they do go to the Delta Omega Lambda, and they see the Dennis sees the I chug dick, and he does mention that's homophobic.
He does, yeah.
And I think it's weird for him to take that stance.
Well, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later.
I'm jumping
why he
way
takes that
ahead.
yeah, we'll talk about that later. So, yes, this was but that was 15 years ago. So he probably has no clout at the college.
Well, I mean, he's a legend over there.
Now, we've gotten glimpses of Dennis's not really remembering the past the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to imagine he thought he was a legend, right? He never really was.
Yeah, Dennis really romances his I don't know, past for sure.
So then over at the Delta Omega Lambda, Dennis and Frank attempt to recruit for Flippadopia, and they both get punked by a couple of little idiots and savages. So Dennis comes in, and the way Dennis is looking around when he walks into this frat house, he's like, wow. He's like, there's a guy just sleeping next to him, and then he's just looking around this is it. And I love the way he starts looking at the boards.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this is the place. Everything's still here. And I almost didn't even notice that guy passed out in the chair till the fourth watch.
And I love how this is the class. And he starts looking here at the picture. Did you pause and look at some of this stuff?
I only noticed one. It was because I was watching with the commentary, but Brian Gildner, the butcher, in the top right, he is the production assistant, and he acts in this episode as well. And
he's on that board 3 different times. There's 3 different people. His name is on there. And there's also Dave Sharon is one of the names on there.
Oh, nice. He's in this episode as well.
Nice. And I love how Dennis points out, there's Ritter. I wish we could find out more about Ritter.
Yeah.
I want Ritter to come back. There's Ritter. And then he finds himself, and he's like, I chug dick. And we see that someone has a comic book drawn in a word balloon. We should say on Brian Gilder, somebody kind of it says the butcher, and they drew in him with a knife kind of thing.
Yeah, with the butcher knife. Yeah.
Yeah, they drew hands kind of on him.
Mm-hmm.
And for Dennis, they drew a speech balloon. It says I chug dick.
Yeah, and they clowned out his hair a little bit.
And Dennis cannot handle this. He does that thing where he doesn't finish sentences.
Yeah, no, what? I don't chug dick.
I
That's
don't
crazy.
chug dick. He says, I don't chug dick. He's taking it literal.
Yeah, why would you even put... That's not funny. Come on.
That's not funny. I love how he says that. That's not funny. And it's homophobic.
Yeah.
And of course now it's homophobic because it's happening to him.
It serves his situation.
Yeah, it serves his situation. Yeah, he's a psychopath. Yeah, of course. And you hear a commotion coming from the other room, and when Dennis runs in there, Frank is hula hooping.
How did he get in there?
When did Frank get there? I was going to say, when did Frank get there? Was that part of the plan for them to go together?
I don't know. I think it's interesting that they found each other there, though. Unless Frank ran in 10 minutes ahead. I don't know. He seems already part of the group.
It's just convenient for the story. But
Sure.
Why not just make him walk in with him and then go off into the room while Dennis is looking around?
That would have been a better choice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But Frank is in there hula hooping, and but it does provide Dennis with this opportunity to get real flustered and real frustrated and real just kind of like this is not going to plan kind of thing. Like where like
sure, I think it throws Dennis off his game that Frank is like
it definitely does.
Like working with the kids actually pretty well.
Yeah. Dennis has crazy energy here. He has like crazy energy. He's like,
he does his,
he's like forcing himself to laugh.
Yeah, he does the extra laugh because he's having a hard time dealing with the situation.
Yeah, and he lets them know that he's here. He's a brother. He's from the class of '98.
Mm-hmm.
And the way this kid, let's get these frat kids out of the way before I discourage what he just says. Go ahead. What do you got?
Okay, Bezzy is played by Marshall Allman. He was born 1984 from Austin, Texas. He was in Thunder Road, Bates Motel, Hawaii Five-0, True Bloods, Prison Break, and Mad Men. Cheesefoot is played by Cody Cash. He was born 1987 from Camarillo, California. He was in NYPD Blue, Law & Order, SVU, Desperate Housewives, Criminal Minds, Boston Public, and Normal, Ohio. And Tiny is played by Mark Pavanelli. He was born 1971 from Elyria, Ohio. He was in Dahmer and Greg, Charmed, Epic Movie, Pushing Daisies, Water for Elephants, and Mad Dogs.
Nice. There's a bunch of people in this room, like all over the place.
Yeah, there's another one. I'm just gonna throw it out. Frat boy. It's hard to place these people. They could be at the party. Who knows?
Okay.
Christian Molds. He was born 1985 from Santurce, Puerto Rico. He was in Desperate Housewives, Criminal Minds, Think Tank, and The Flip Side.
So Dennis is mostly talking to, I think he's talking to Cheesefoot for the most of this episode. On this scene. Cheesefoot's the one with the longer hair.
Yeah, sure. Wait, before we step into that, he does introduce himself as Brother Reynolds, class of '98, which is also the year that they're banned from the Flip Cup tournament. So were they bar owners when he was in college?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they were just a team? She did say we were the bar to be, and we had a rivalry with this other bar. So yeah, they owned a bar. They had to have.
But also, I don't know, did Dennis graduate or did Dee not graduate? The 3/4 of a major is better than a minor. Who has the minor?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember.
I wish I just rewatched that other episode just to know.
You're right. Like the bar, they got banned from Flippadopia 10 years ago, and Dennis was only in school like 15 years ago, or less than that, right?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's just a weird timing. It just occurred to me when I read Class of '98.
So, and then the kid here says that he was cruising in 6th grade in '98. That's his reply to that, and that aggravates me so much, Ross.
It's so dismissive,
and it's also useless and pointless information. Good, okay, that's not what this is about. Why you even like? Why you
Eric?
Like,
relax. You seem triggered by this. Did you just get
I don't know.
by
I don't know. It's just something. It's like, what kind of response is that? It's like a non sequitur. It's like, okay, good for you. Like it's not propelling anything. Or doing anything. Like, I don't know. It's just aggravating.
Yeah, it is.
These guys are idiots. You know,
Is
they're
it
savages. Idiots.
Eric, calm down. Jeez. Chill pill.
So yeah, they were cruising in 6th grade in '98, and Dennis asks, what's up with this guy tied up? Is this some guy tied up?
This
with
guy
duct tape?
duct taped to a chair.
Yeah. Now, what does this remind you of?
Oh man, the party mansion.
The party mansion. This is truly.
This is what they were doing. Like I don't know, a year or two ago.
They're gonna shove so much things up his ass.
Right.
Yeah. Like.
It's funny that like kids as they look at them, we're doing the same thing that they were doing like a couple of seasons ago.
So every few minutes they've been tasing this kid in the chair in the balls.
Yeah, I mean that can't be good.
Why would you want to be a part? Ross, I didn't go to college. Did you have any experience with frats or frat houses?
I went to one when I was not even in college yet. My friend happened to be in a college, and I went to a frat party that he brought me to. It was fun as hell at the time, but I didn't go to one when I was in college. It just wasn't my thing. And the other time that I did go, I was kind of like forced. You know what I mean? It was like, this is what we're doing tonight. I'm like, okay.
Right. Yeah. No, I didn't have any experience with this because I wouldn't want to be part of this if I'm going to get my balls. I can find friends without getting my balls tased.
I mean, that's questionable, but
It's true.
But you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's also like less to do with like helping the community, which is like their like bullshit like public statement is always like they
Right.
want to help like the community, whatever. But it's always like just about paying for friends and getting drunk.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get this guy he's a pledge, and they're hazing him by shocking him in the balls. But Dennis wants in on this. You know, he wants to do this. He's kind of
He's kind of a legend of that sort of stuff. So
yeah. I love like Dennis wants to get in on this. Like
I don't know. I think he's just trying to show off and prove something.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, as he goes to give him the taser, he tases Dennis.
Yeah, he does like I'm gonna hand you this, but I zap you in the hand.
Right.
And Dennis goes down to his knees.
And Frank comes over and like, hey, these guys are a couple of badass shitheads. Badass shitheads. That is so funny.
I love
Made me
that.
laugh every time.
Yeah, 100%.
These guys are badass shitheads.
And he asks if they have any lewds.
Do you know what he's referencing when he says that?
Isn't that like I'm thinking of poppers actually, but I think it's is it that thing you sniff or I don't know.
Quaaludes. He's talking about Quaaludes.
Oh yes, Quaaludes. And that
Quaaludes.
became popular like how many years after?
Well, they were popular in the 60s and 70s, and they were discontinued around 1985.
Okay, yeah. But I remember I don't know, a few years ago there was some like
They were back?
what's that actor that fiance Katie is in love with?
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yes, Leonardo DiCaprio was in a movie where they bring up lewds, and it just became like popular in like pop culture again. Like lewds. Oh my god!
Oh, okay.
Do you have any lewd? Like
Yeah.
bros would make the joke of lewds. But I thought it was funny that Always Sunny got there first, like in
Right,
a different
yeah.
way.
And it's such a Frank thing, like something from the 60s and 70s. Like,
Yeah, up his alley.
And another term for them in the 60s and 70s was disco biscuits.
I like that. It's such a what the hell is that?
Yeah, they don't have any. They don't have any lewds, but they do have some Ritterol. Now, is this a made-up thing for Always Sunny, or is this crushed up Ritalin and Adderall?
Oh, that's a good question. I thought it was a made up thing, but like to be like Adderall.
Right.
Because I think Ritalin and Adderall might have the same effect. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I've actually had Adderall before.
Me too. Yeah.
But but not Ritalin.
No, I've never had Ritalin.
Yeah. Frank kind of like really freaks out. I mean, it keeps you up, but like.
Yeah, I think Frank's blown it a little out of proportion. But he did take like quite the snortski.
Yeah, oh, I didn't snort it either. I took it like as like a pill form.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean that's like a viable option too.
I did not do any type of snorting. No way.
I did do some snortski when I did
cannot.
my Adderall.
I cannot. Nah.
I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this the crazy way.
ooh, snortskis. That is Frank's reply to that, which is so funny.
Yeah, you've
Ooh.
never heard that anywhere else.
No, and like that is like Frank's like yeah, like Frank's always down to like do coke or whatever's around.
Oh yeah, big time.
So he comes over, ooh, snortski, and he has some, and it's tasty stuff.
Tasty stuff.
And he goes, shock him again. And he zaps Dennis again. Which is really funny. And then, don't do that shit again, you little idiot, is what Dennis says. And it's like, I love the little idiot. Like, you little idiot. Like, he used the term idiot so much.
I'm a legend around here.
Yeah, he's a legend around here. And he's there to recruit them for Flip Cup. Flippadopia.
Flip Cup? What are you, a freshman? That is so lame.
And then this line made me laugh truly, Russ. It's my second favorite line.
It's such a good line.
Look at how loose his jeans are. You kind of forget he's got like the skinny jeans thing going on.
Why is Frank like teaming up with them against Dennis? Look how loose his jeans are.
Look how loose his jeans are. It's a really funny thing to say. But Frank gets shocked himself.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they betray him right away, and then
Yeah.
the other kid hands it off to the other frat kid, and
Yeah.
he starts zapping Dennis and Frank until they leave, which is
Yeah, they basically get shoot out.
right. They got punked out.
So then back at Patty's, Dee practices flip cup as Dennis and Frank return, and it's decided Charlie and Mac should handle the frat guys.
All right, focus. You can do this. More touch. Still
D, it's getting hard to watch, really.
I can't stop grinding my teeth. I don't know how these kids study on this goddamn rigmarole.
Yeah, I don't know either, and I don't give a shit. Hey, so how did the recruiting go?
Oh, it was bad. We both got punked.
Yeah, we both got punked, Frank.
out.
We both
Just
got punked.
That's
These
right.
kids these days, I'll tell you what, they're nothing like we used to be back when we were in fraternities. They have no respect for anybody. Okay, they're like stupid little goddamn
They're
savages.
bitches, they're
I mean,
bitches,
I
they're
came in
little
there
bitches.
right, and I was polite, and I was nice to them.
Yeah.
I was cordial, and they completely goddamn disrespected me. Little idiots, idiots. I was
think it-
completely respectful. They're supposed to be my brothers, right? They're my brothers? No, that's not fun. What they were doing wasn't fun. They kept zapping us and zapping us.
No,
Idiots,
zap,
savages,
zap.
idiots.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Man.
Calm down.
All right, I
Man,
just
that's-
they disrespect. I am a legend over there.
I know you're a legend. Charlie knows you're a legend. You know, that's just the viciousness of youth.
That wasn't
you know?
fun. It's not fun. It's not fun.
I'll tell you what,
Savages.
dude. Maybe you should step down from the fraternity thing. Look, dude, we haven't gotten Art Sloan to sign up yet.
He's not signed
Why don't you
up.
focus some of that weird rage on him?
Yeah,
Charlie and I will
yeah.
handle the frat kids from here, okay?
Yeah. I'll totally pull a Goodwill Hunting on those kids, and that'll put them in their place.
How you gonna do that?
Well, you've seen the movie, right?
Yeah.
So all I gotta do is I'll ask them some like big shot like math or science history type college question, and then I'll totally stump them by knowing a lot more about the answer than they do.
Yeah, in that movie, Matt Damon played a genius janitor. You're just a janitor.
Right. Hey, stump me with that one.
Yeah, you
That's
didn't have a
good
comeback
point.
for that. You didn't have a comeback for that. So how you gonna have a comeback in the frat
All right,
house?
well, maybe you ask them the math or history type question, but you're not a janitor.
Don't do that.
Just please take care of those little savages.
Got it. Don't do that. Don't
It'll
do
work
that.
if you just say some lines from the movie. It works.
That's too big.
And we see Dee here is still struggling.
Yeah, she just can't get it.
Frank comes walking in here and he's grinding his teeth. Oh, how do these college kids study on this all night?
I don't know, Frank, and I don't give a shit.
Great.
I love the I don't give a shit.
That's his I don't give a shit attitude from Mac and Charlie Write a Movie.
Yeah, I say I don't give a shit sometimes, and people like, I don't know, maybe that's too harsh for some people to hear, but I'm just like, yeah, I don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah, like sometimes it's like on like stuff. Yeah, like I don't know. Like I know what you mean. Like and it'd be like a stupid stuff where like I feel like don't you want the courtesy of me telling you the truth? Like so oh you want to see something? No, not really.
no, I wouldn't do that to somebody, but like,
Really?
if they're like, oh, did you hear like Prince Harry had a baby? I'm like, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit about that guy.
I get that too. But like somebody be like, "Oh, you watch this YouTube video." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "No, I don't want to. I'm not gonna stand here and watch a YouTube video." You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to. I just don't want to.
No, I just no thanks.
Yeah, I just I don't know, don't want to. So he doesn't give a shit about that. But when they say like how'd it go, and Frank says, "Oh yeah, we both got pranked." Dennis really hits the both. He's like, "Yeah, we both got pranked. We both got pranked," because he like doesn't want to be like,
Punked.
alone. He punked. Yes, punked. We both got punked because he like doesn't want to like be alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want the humiliation to be just his own.
Yeah,
he's
even though
really
it was
clinging to the
mainly
boat.
directed towards Dennis.
And everyone just heard it, but this rant that Dennis goes on with the kids these days, and then he starts freaking out, is like really one of the best Dennis moments. It's incredible.
This
like,
episode for sure.
yeah, yeah, and just like the way he's freaking out, and he's like, "Stupid little goddamn savages," and like this, like all those little lines of little idiots. like, and then the way he starts breaking, going like, I was polite to them, like
And
he's
I was
doing all that.
cordial, and they goddamn disrespected me.
Oh man, and it's like, it's just incredible acting and just word choices. Like calling them idiots and savages is so
funny.
It's
So
just
funny.
something so
A
funny about it.
savage?
A savage.
How do you
Like,
call
it's so-
someone a savage?
That is so like savage.
It's an insulting word that like I never really found a time to use.
And he's talking about being a legend, and I love Mac being like, dude, I know you're a legend. Charlie knows you're a legend.
Charlie, not so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Charlie actually wrote the Little Savages speech from Dennis. The little,
really?
Yeah.
He said that in the commentary.
He was like, yeah, he said that because he knew Glenn could deliver like that, like frustrated, like snapping, idiots lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he wanted to tap into that crazy Glenn.
That's awesome. And Max says something kind of insightful that, that is just the viciousness of youth. Isn't that like a insightful line from Mac?
Yeah, it's funny that like they were probably the same way when they were their age.
Oh yeah.
And
Still
now
are.
they can't handle it when it's still that way, I feel like when you're young you dislike old people, and when you're old you dislike young people, and like
right.
This is like a weird age dynamic.
Yeah.
And he's just like frustrated that he's not a part of that age group or something. I don't know.
I'm like right in the middle where I don't like old people or young people. What am I doing?
People.
Well, there you go. So he does this thing where he's like saying like that wasn't fun. That's not fun. That's not fun. That's what that's not fun. Like the way he says that. That's how like he looks psychotic.
That's not fun.
What he's saying. That's not fun. Like he's like almost talking to himself.
Yes, he really is.
And Mac figures, why don't he focus all that weird rage on Art Sloan? Because he hasn't signed up.
Weird rage. Because Mac really doesn't understand it. He's like, okay, all right, sure. But it's like nice. He's like really being a mediator here. He's like, okay, this is obviously getting to you too much. Why don't you like take a break?
He's getting him out of a jam.
Yeah, that's what a sidekick does.
Right. And so, because they want Art Sloan to sign up for Flippadopia, and it hasn't happened yet. So Mac and Charlie are going to take over for the frat guys. They're going to handle the frat guys. Mm-hmm. And Charlie figures when they do that, he'll just pull a Good Will Hunting.
Well, how are you going to do that?
Well, what Charlie's going to do is he's just going to ask some sort of math, science, or like history question or something, and he'll impress them by knowing more information about the question than they do.
Yes, I mean, I'm sorry, but he does say, I'm going to stump them by knowing a lot more about the answer. How does that stump them?
I'm going to stump them.
I'm going to stump them by knowing the answer?
Well, I think what he means to say is, I will ask them a question, they will be stumped, and then I will know the answer.
Yeah, I think that's what he meant to say, but I think
what
it's
he's
funny the way he... Yeah.
Yeah. And I love Mac's confusion of just like, how are you going to do like, and then I love when he's like, have you seen the movie? And I love Mac's like, yeah. He says like, yeah. Ross, have you seen Good Will Hunting?
Yes, I have.
I have not. Can you believe it?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think it was actually a good movie.
I don't know. It doesn't have like robots or...
It's true.
I don't know. I need like some sci-fi or something going on for me to get
A
my
laser
attention.
or
a laser gun.
or space
sure.
rocket.
Sure. Somebody turns out to be a clone or something. I don't know.
Well, in that movie, Matt Damon played a genius janitor.
Right.
You're just a janitor.
It stumped him. I'm stumped.
Right. You stumped me on that one. Yeah, you didn't have a comeback.
That is so... You stumped me on that one. It wasn't even like a...
It wasn't even a real question.
It was like a statement.
Unbelievable.
It's really funny. Yeah, it's really, really funny. And the fact that we get to see this paid off later is unbelievable. This could have ended right here.
Oh, yeah, perfect. It would have been like a nice, tight little like joke because Charlie doesn't quite get it.
I love
because he tries to pass it off to like Mac. He's like,
yeah.
Mac, why don't you do it?
Yeah, why don't you ask the type of... And the way he says it, too, he's like kind of stumbling over his words because he's like thinking of a plan while he's saying it. Why don't you ask the... He's like, oh, wait, no, you're not a janitor. Kind of like...
Because this all has to do with being a janitor.
It all has to be like... Again,
That's the key.
They think like movies are real.
You know what? In the commentary, Charlie Day like acknowledged that.
Really?
Yeah, this is the first time I've heard in a commentary or anything like that's been referenced.
Really?
Or brought up. Yeah, I was surprised.
I like that. Yeah, because that is a filter through they see things. They think what happens in movies should happen in real life.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And they were like, oh, yeah, we're always, like, influenced by, like, Rocky or something, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's true.
So then they just so then they go off in their separate ways where Frank and Dennis are now assigned to Art Sloan and
Instigation.
Mac. Yes, and Mac and Charlie are now handling the frat guys. And Dee is continuing Flip Cup. We even see her.
Yeah, she's been practicing the whole episode.
Yeah. So then at the Delta Omega Lambda house, Mac and Charlie walk into a paint party and get distracted from their current objective. And they come in here, oh my! Their eyes are like wide open.
They're
Now,
like,
was-
wow,
was the-
things have
was-
changed.
Was the frat party anything like this that you went to?
I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, there was a lot going on, but I don't know. I got way too drunk way too early.
I never been to a situation. I've never been to something like this. This is nuts to me to be at a party like this.
I did go to one party in college that I will say is, like, still today, like, the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Really?
They had, like, a huge, like, barbecue pit going. They had, like, 8 kegs. They had an above-ground pool. They had, like, I'm not kidding, like, multiple ping pong tables to play beer pong on. It was the weirdest, like, there was probably over 1,000 people there. And I don't know why, but it didn't get shut down.
Oh shit! There's a pool.
Oh shit! There's a pool. It's got a real ass on it once you walk in.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, no, that's like a movie party. I never been to. I never been to something that big.
It was a once in a lifetime.
But yeah, they walk into this like paint party thing going on. The lights are down. They sort of have this like neon glowing paint that they're using.
Yeah, it's like this glow in the dark stuff that.
Yeah.
Because the lights are dim, there's a lot of music going, there's drinks, and lots of paint.
Whoa, is this what college is like?
Charlie is like, we got boned big time.
I love that realization of like, wait a minute.
Because on paper, college seems like a real dull
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah. So then they're like, no, let's stay focused. Let's let nothing get in our way. And as soon as they say that, hey, these two ladies.
Yeah, because they walk upstairs and like it's like a tight space. I like this shot too, like them
great
walking
shot.
in.
Yeah.
like we see them experience the party, like
it's like a one
they're
shot.
looking around. Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
whoa.
And it truly
taking
is
it all
like
in.
so many people. Like there's people all up. Like when they're walking up the stairs, it's
There's
like they
more
can
and more
just
people.
fit through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything on our would-be painters?
Yes, I'm gonna assume these are the painters. Audrey Griffiths, she was in Disaster Movie, Burlesque, and Last Man Standing. We have
Alright.
Gwen, who is played by Eve Morrow. She was born 1981 from Atlanta, Georgia. She was in Ugly Betty, The Grinch, Land of the Lost, the reboot, and Bones, and Dystopia.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. They bump into them here.
Like right away.
Yeah, right away.
Like right
And
after they say, let's not get distracted. It's
Yeah,
almost
perfect.
It's like too
Yeah,
perfect timing, yeah.
Like great. It would be like a walk on a.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as someone in an improv scene would say, "Stay focused, don't get distracted," your only job is to distract them.
Immediately.
So yeah, these two ladies, they want to know if they want to paint them up, and they're kind of like they're confused because this is their first time experiencing anything like this. So they ask,
Yeah.
"How? How?"
First, the women paint them,
Right.
and then the women paint the guys
Okay. And how do they do the painting?
with our hands.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
He
we
says that.
do.
Yeah, we do. Like, and this
Well, that
thing
makes
where-
sense. Sure.
this thing
he-
where, like-
Charlie is so agreeable.
The thing where they're like, "Excuse me," and they hug each other is so real. You know
If
what I
that
mean?
happened to me today, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
like you'd be like, "Oh my god!" Like not today for me, but like you'd be like
Yeah,
back in the
yes.
day.
The proverbial you.
Yeah, it would be like what is happening? You know, like what did we just walk into? You know,
This
you know
is
what I mean? Like yeah,
Exactly
they're
what
just-
I ordered.
They're so happy, like they hug each other. It's such a funny thing to put in there.
And I don't think we've ever seen them hug out of pure joy like this.
No, you really see them happy. To be honest,
Yeah, true.
Happy boy.
It's my happy boy.
Yeah, and they hug here. And then so at Art Sloan's house, Dennis and Frank destroy Art's house and possessions.
Artie Sloan tying his shirts in knots.
I like to humiliate guys, sure. I'm no different than those guys are now, man, you know? Like, I used to be the same way. I used to dress guys up like bananas and walk them around the quad. Or I'd take a banana and stick it up some guy's ass in front of his best friend, and I'd be like, hey, banana ass, how you doing? Or maybe I'd take the tip of my penis and stick it in a guy's mouth for, like, just a second. You know what I mean? Like, while he was sleeping. I'm all about that shit. You know what I mean? But you don't stun gun a guy who is a goddamn legend.
No.
Those guys, they need to recognize that shit. I was a trailblazer. But these kids these days in fraternities, it's like they don't have any respect. They don't care about anybody but themselves, you know? And I don't understand that. It's like they live in a fantasy world where, oh, no, there's no consequences for my actions. I can do whatever the hell I want and treat people however the hell I want to treat them. And I don't get that. What are you doing? What is that?
Well, what I'm doing is like cutting the shower curtain in half waist high so that when he's in using it, people can see his junk.
Wow, Frank, that Ritterall is having a very interesting effect on the way you think.
Love this feeling.
Yeah. Got any more of it?
There's a bear shit in the woods.
We'll cut up a couple rails, buddy. I'm gonna blast off.
All right. Here you go.
All right. Let's do this.
So when this scene starts, don't you love Frank's little Artie Sloan tying his shirts in knots? Like the way he says the Artie
He's just
Sloan.
narrating what he's doing. Artie
Dude, that-
Sloan.
So what's he doing? He's tying each sleeve up into a knot?
Yeah. I mean,
That
that
would-
would be a bastard to get
That
out.
would aggravate the hell out of me.
Yeah, because
Oh,
it's like you
man.
almost still have a shirt, but it's going to be in bad condition now. If you can untie that. I'm sure this is so tight.
I never even thought of that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
Like,
mean,
thought to do that to someone.
Like, the amount of stuff they're damaging in this guy's house is, like, criminally offensive.
Yeah. And Dennis is kneeling. You heard the clip, but you can't see, like, and it's also funny, some of the clip where he's talking about people having no respect, he's damaging the house while
Yes,
he's doing this.
absolutely. Great juxtaposition.
Yeah. And Dennis has a nail gun, and he's nailing his shoes to the floor.
So not only is he just ruining, like, hundreds, or maybe thousands of dollars in shoes, he's now damaging the floor.
Right. Yeah. Did he bring that nail gun? Where'd he get that nail
Oh,
gun?
I'm sure, yeah.
And Dennis's rant here, everyone just heard it, but it's so funny where, like, he starts talking about how he's like them. He'll humiliate guys. He likes humiliate. Like, who likes humiliating people?
Sickos.
He's just like a freely admitting, like.
Yeah, the weird stuff, like the dress people up like a banana, stick bananas up people's asses in front of their best friend.
Let's talk about this. The first one is very funny. Dress people up like bananas and walking around the quad. It's kind of like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen silly stuff like that. Yeah, sure.
And then the next one is take a banana and then shove it up stick it up some guy's ass in front of his best friend.
Very specific. So we know at some point this has probably happened.
Like the in front of your best friend part is so specific, and it makes an already absurd and funny statement. It like, doubles the funniness.
Yeah,
it completely
It
doubles
heightens
it.
it
Just
by double.
saying that one little extra. It's
Yeah.
it's like incredidible. It's like great, right? It's just in front of your best friend, like,
Hey, banana ass, how you doing?
yeah, hey, what's up, hey, banana? How you doing? Like the way he's like freaking out. And he's not even on the Ritterall yet.
No, he's already just jacked up to 11.
This is him amped up for like just because he got punked.
Mm-hmm. And then he like sort of mentions that he used to kind of rape people.
Yeah, I mean this is some cricket stuff. This is cricket stuff.
Yeah, penis in the mouth.
He would take the tip of his penis and put it in some guy's mouth, just for a second, like while he's sleeping.
Yep, rape.
Weird. Yeah, of course. And then he starts doing this like manic laugh. He's like, he's so manic right now.
The guy deserves everything he's gotten.
I mean, the acting is unreal. Like,
Yeah.
to say the tip of my penis part and not laugh, and then they start doing the manic like crazy laugh. It's crazy. And did you notice here that he while he's saying this, he pulls a drawer out of the like the desk there, and then he like empties the contents and then goes back to stapling the shoe, like to nailing the shoes. Like he just takes a moment to empty a drawer out. Yeah, it's just like more just like chaos. Yeah, exactly. It's like just so unnecessary. Then goes back to the shoes, like, and also showing like how manic and crazy he is. He's just like grabbing whatever.
Yeah.
How are they gonna stun gun a legend?
I mean, they gotta recognize that shit. He was a trailblazer.
Yeah, and they cut to the bathroom here, and the sinks are already all clogged up. There's 2 sinks. They're on, and water's everywhere. You can hear it in the clip. He's talking about like showing respect and all stuff while he's like opening up jars and sprinkling the contents.
He's destroying the bathroom. I mean,
yeah. This is like flood damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Water damage. That's not going away. That's like you got to dig up the floors now.
Yeah,
and like then he just sticks a towel into the toilet and flushes it. Like, he's just doing whatever, and it's all working to his working out perfectly.
This is the perfect example. Like, if I taught, like I've said this before, I haven't said this in a while, but I've said this before that if I taught an improv scene, I would bring in clips to show people.
This for sure would be one.
And this is a perfect example when they teach you object work to not talk about what you are doing.
100%. They're not even mentioning it whatsoever until
That's
Frank.
what makes it funny, because they're that is the funny part. They're talking about this other shit and they're stapling stuff, like nobody's like, oh, here I am with the staple gun, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
hey,
exactly.
What are you doing there with the, at one point he does say, Frank, what are you doing there? But that is okay to do if like you're in the middle of a scene and there's object going on, and then one person's doing object work you kind of don't understand. Because I think you can read, like, the audience also doesn't know what he's doing, so let's find out. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's like a perfect example of you don't talk, like nobody talks about what they are doing while they're doing it. Like the fact that he's like as he's like talking about respect and stuff, he's balling up a towel and he opens the toilet and just like jams it in and like flushes the toilet. And, like he's like barely even looking at what he's doing too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so like nonchalant and
like, so nonchalant.
It's as a matter of fact. It's like, oh, I do this all the time. Like,
yeah. And yeah, he's talking about how these kids they think they have no consequence for their actions. Like while he's flooding this guy's toilet,
right? Like he thinks there's no consequence to his action,
and there isn't.
No, there isn't. For guys like Dennis, no.
And they look over, and Frank is cutting the curtain horizontally, the shower curtain. He's cutting it horizontally, so there's only a top part.
Right, and his logic is so everyone can see his junk, but
right,
like, everyone. I guess this is something like Charlie's friend in college would do.
Yeah. I read that online. This came from Charlie's real life, which is very, very fun.
Very funny, just to draw from real life. It's always a gem.
Dennis starts asking about the Ritterall, like him being on it, and Frank says this doing this like. I love this feeling. And he does this like dance.
I thought he just said, I'm just feeling. Ooh.
Oh,
like,
I love this
feeling. I thought it was I'm just feeling, and I like that.
Frank is all hopped up, and this is where Dennis is like, hey, you have any more Ritterall?
Does a bear shit in the woods?
That's such a, like, it almost feels like Frank should say that wrong. You know,
right.
He's kind of like.
He should mix up idioms.
There's a beaver
right there's a good
in
opportunity.
The forest. Yeah. Something like kind of like it. Yeah, make up his own. Yeah. Yeah, he's got some. So why don't you line up a reel and they'll blast off.
Blast off.
Cut up a reel and blast off. So then back at the frat house, after Mac and Charlie are painted, they get kicked out, and they are covered in paint.
Oh, yeah, head to toe, from what we could tell.
It's the ladies' turn, so they take off their shirts, and kind of just as this is happening, unfortunately. Oh no, actually, even before that, they talk about the best part that they do, because they inform them that after.
Oh Yeah, what they're telling the women are telling them what's going to happen after the guys
After
get to
the
body
paint.
paint them.
Yeah. They're gonna
So
take
they're
a
talking
shower.
about like a shower, all the
Wash 'em
colors
off.
mixed together.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're gonna do, Charlie.
Yeah,
Just
and yeah.
I love Charlie's like creepy, like okay, sure.
And just as this is happening, of course, these dickheads come up
Mm-hmm.
and they start kicking them out. And like, relax, guys.
Yeah, they're not in the front. They gotta go. But like, oh man,
Calm down. Like if I was at a party like this, I would be so happy. You could get anything by me. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do anything. Like, I'd be so happy to be there that it's like, why stress about anything?
yeah. I mean, we came here to relax. What are you worried about?
Look around. What are you worried about?
This is the problem.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. But yeah, they come up and the way Mac and Charlie like turn around and they're like, please, they're kind of like, come on, man. Like, and then Charlie's like, I'm telling you no. Like, they're frustrated. Which, yeah, of course.
Just trying to have a conversation here. I love that.
Yeah.
They use that all the time, but I love that line.
So yeah, Charlie's telling him no, and then finally Charlie's like, fine, I'm gonna pull a Goodwill Hunting.
Oh no, dude.
And Charlie's voice here is what I think I sound like on the podcast when I listen back. Sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness.
No, you actually have a Boston accent. His Boston accent is like kind of hacky for sure, right?
Yeah, but I've heard people talk like this. Like, I've met people that talk like this in
Yeah,
Boston.
here and there. Yeah.
But it is crazy broad and like bad, obviously.
Oh yeah. What's your major, dude?
What's your major, dude? And then the dude too is so funny. Like, does Ben Affleck talk? I mean, does Matt Damon talk like that in the movie? Like, dude. What's
I
your
don't
major,
think he says
dude?
but like he's a what's your major? You know?
I think that's just the Boston accent.
Yeah, I mean he does a good Boston accent, and so does Ben. So like, it doesn't bother me that much as a Boston movie.
And he's in economics.
Oh, I bet you read a lot of Gordan Wood, and then you regurgitate it from your textbook, and you think it's wicked awesome doing that. And how about them apples and all that Gordan Wood business?
Gordan Wood business.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, hold on. Because I looked up some stuff with Gordan Wood. Did you?
Just that he is a professor at Brown.
Yeah, Professor Brown. He's wrote some books and won a Pulitzer Prize.
He didn't
Now,
win
this
the
is-
Nobel. Barack Obama.
Yeah. Now this is straight from Gordan S. Wood's Wikipedia. This is straight from his Wikipedia in popular culture. Okay. Wood was mentioned in the 1997 film Good Will Hunting. In one scene, Matt Damon's character mentions Gordan Wood while standing up to a Harvard student who is ridiculing Ben Affleck's character Eddie Barr. He accuses the Harvard student of shallowly reiterating ideas he has encountered in his coursework, telling him that he soon will be quote regurgitating Gordan Wood. End quote. So that's the exact regurgitating Gordan Wood is exactly from the movie.
Yeah, that
term.
regurgitation line. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly from the term. Wood said of this scene, "That's my 2 seconds of fame. More kids know about me than know more about me from that than any books that I have written." The scene was later parodied in the television show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, in which the character Charlie Kelly attempts to pull a Goodwill Hunting and asks, "Does no one know who Gordan Wood is?" That is mentioned in the wiki. Always Sunny is
I
mentioned
did read
in
that.
his
I
wiki.
didn't take the block and throw it in the notes, but no, I'm glad you did. It's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, it is. It is interesting. Yeah, and also to learn, because I didn't see the movie, that the regurgitating, like the term regurgitating, is from the movie.
Yeah, I think that's like really. Besides the apples and Gordan Wood, I think if you combine those enough, in the way Charlie did, you're sort of doing it.
Oh, it's just we also get a wicked awesome.
Yeah, we get a wicked awesome. Dude.
We get a wicked awesome. And yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's such a
Yeah,
great
and
response.
Mac is like, "You're an idiot."
Well, the Franken says you're an idiot, and Mac says you are an idiot. Like he agrees with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you are an idiot. Yeah, that's right.
And we didn't even talk that. We really just kind of breezed over it. But this guy's name is Cheesefoot.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Not a
I
good
mean,
nick-
no,
Don't
not a
call
good
me-
nickname.
Don't call me that. I don't want to be called.
Would,
that.
would you want to be the guy at the party in front of, like, I don't know, potential other suitors. You know what I mean? Like you're
Mating
called
partners?
cheese food. Yeah.
Cheese foot? No.
Yeah.
No, thank
No.
you. I don't
It's
ever want
not
to be called cheese foot
flattering.
in any situation.
I strive to not be called cheese foot.
Yeah. He's going to go get the taser gun.
Shit.
Yeah, they do this defeated sort of like we
Yeah.
lost.
Oh no. We know what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
And they actually played out a version where Mac and Charlie do get tased, but they cut it because
Really?
yeah, they just thought it was like
Too much?
unnecessary and yeah,
Yeah.
too silly.
Too silly. They got a guy cutting shower curtains.
They have a limit. Okay.
Back at Art Sloan's house, Dennis and Frank continue to wreak havoc, and Dennis unveils his masterpiece. And Ross, they are zooted, these two.
Oh yeah, Frank especially. I mean, he is smoking a cigar, which I think
Yeah.
is funny to do in someone's house.
And what's he up to?
He's doing Art Sloan's taxes for next year. He's gonna get him in trouble with the IRS.
Yeah, that he actually says this jerk offs. He does call him a jerk off. This jerk off's taxes. I'm doing this jerk off's taxes. But Dennis, weird. Don't you love that response?
Yeah, he has great zooted energy. Dennis.
Yeah, weird. That's like long term shit.
Long term, I would. Yes, I like that. I like that.
Like he does like that. I like that. He does like a weird. Yeah. He wants Frank to come up and look at down at the lawn from the balcony, because he did something. He did
He did it.
it. Yeah. I did something. And he takes the cigar from Frank. Yeah, Frank's smoking a cigar. How long? Where is Art Sloan?
I don't know. What time of the day is this? I mean, he could be working, but
yeah, they're there for a long time. And so we then see the scene of Frank looking down on the balcony, down over the lawn, as Dennis tosses his cigar into the lawn, and we see a fire trail burn into the lawn, like from gasoline or whatever. It's pretty CGI.
oh yeah.
What do you
yeah.
think?
They thought it was at the time. I mean, this is probably like a year or two later that they're doing the commentary, but they were like, "Wow, that was good special." I disagree.
I
think it's
disagree
bad
too.
special
I think it's pretty
effects.
bad. Yeah, it's very obvious, but whatever.
Yeah.
It would have been awesome to see like really done.
Yeah. Why not?
But it's not practical.
Oh, it isn't.
No, probably not. Probably very expensive. And so like the fire like leaves a trail, and it spells out, "Patties have respect, idiots. I am legend."
It's like Charlie wrote it, but he had to sneak in idiots.
And it's also Dennis's like broken sentences.
Yeah, his frustrated like speech.
They're just thoughts. They're like patties. Patties is one thought. Have respect is another thought. Idiots is a thought. And I am a legend. I don't know why it's just I am legend.
Is that
But,
from
yeah.
something? I Am
It's
Legend.
it's a movie. Will Smith.
Well, doesn't that come out in post? I Am Legend.
It came out after, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea. But I think it's just a term. I think it just might be a term. I am legend.
Oh, I Am Legend came out in 2007, so it might be a reference.
Oh, maybe. And while this is happening, the Beethoven Symphony Number 9 in D minor is playing. They have this like.
You sure it's
orchestra
D minor though? You sure it's
That's
not
what
like...
that's what it says on my thing. The thing
Okay.
I saw.
No,
D
no, I
minor.
saw that too. I looked that up.
Ross, I don't know what D minor means.
It's just I guess a tone. I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy if you're asking at all.
I don't know enough. I don't know how regular music works. Never mind some sort of D minor. And I love Frank's response is, "Our work here is done."
Yeah.
I'll work it.
How do you top that?
I mean, he knows where to find them. Like, he should just
You should press charges? Yeah, 100%. He has like
charges
literal
or-
proof. He couldn't have more.
So then, back at Patty's, the gang realizes they have a new rival, and with these new flip cup skills, they decide to challenge the frat.
So
This-
they got new makeup on.
Yeah. Well, Mac and Charlie are sitting there. These all kinds of beers in front of them. They're still in their full makeup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess they had to get made up again, so they tried to replicate it as best as they could. I thought they did a pretty good job. It's almost a 1-for-1. And
Oh,
it
I didn't
actually
really
has
even
some wear and
notice.
tear.
Yeah, and even later on, when we'll talk about when Mac's doing Flip Cup, you
Yeah,
can
he
see
still
the
has
paint
some
around
on
his
his
ears
head.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they got painted twice.
Yeah, you would think they would do that once.
Do the scene, yeah, just do both
Right.
scenes, yeah. And it's so unfair, Ross. If they only knew what college was like,
I know. The amount of book learning they would have done,
book
they would have
learning,
put in his brain.
reading, math. Boom! The rivalry's back on. Dennis comes in, and they attempt this weak chant.
I know.
It
It doesn't really take around. I mean, they get it going halfway, maybe, would you say?
But yeah, halfway, and then they even will just be like, they even just come out and say, this feels forced.
Yeah. You know
And-
what? Charlie isn't into it.
And Charlie's like, why is that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not even sure. They're like, they're not feeling it anymore.
Something's off.
But Dennis, Dennis can only speak for himself, but the frat kids got to him. In case we didn't know, the frat kids got to Dennis.
Have they? Have they, though?
Yeah. And they also got to Mac and Charlie.
I know. I mean, they circled around and got them all
Yeah.
at this point.
And then Dee interrupts them with her 10 flips in a row.
Yeah. They actually they put some like dry adhesive on the table to get them
Really?
to stick. Yeah. And through the magic of editing, she
Yeah.
flips 10 in a row.
And every flip, I love this. Oh, they're all doing it at the
You're
same
like,
time.
yeah,
Oh.
they escalate the O's.
Yeah. They're getting way into it. And she does 10. They all cheer, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this. Like, that just gave Dennis an idea.
Yeah, that was
Like-
amazing, D. You just gave me a thought, okay? We need to rethink who
Yeah.
our rivals are.
So they switch, basically. They just move over. To the,
Yeah,
the
they
front.
make a alternate direction here. They switch paths.
There's a twist. Oh, and there is a twist.
He's a twist.
So, yeah, they just move over to now the frat is their rival.
Yeah, Dennis is like, you know what? The Molly's rivalry, that's like 10 years. That's old shit,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I think we need to, reassess and start a rivalry with those frat kids.
Those punk-ass frat
Those
kids.
punk asses.
And they all start freaking out.
Such
Yeah,
dicks.
they all agree. So then at the frat house, the gang challenges the frat guys to one game of Flip Cup, and then they play. So basically they come in, they challenge one game of Flip Cup for free beer. That's
Mhm.
what the frat people will win. And Patty's wins the chance to go to the frat whenever they want and get painted by women, have women paint them.
Showers.
They're like,
Take
they're like
showers with
freaking,
them.
they're kind of freaking out a little bit.
It's weird that like these women are part of the deal. Like what?
Yeah. So, and then they get into like a huddle, and they come up kind of with their little game plan here.
Mm.
D is gonna start. They're gonna start off strong, so they want to start with D, and Charlie's gonna bring them home. Charlie's finishing.
Obvious. Yeah.
He says, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh yeah, of course." And Frank does a little cheer of a Patties.
Yeah, they get like the hands in. It's like it's a feel good moment of like them coming together. They're actually, really talking Dee up and flattering her and being so nice to her.
yeah,
and
I
I
was
think
gonna
that's
say-
adding to their plan.
Yeah.
Of
Like,
putting
this
the
is
pressure
this
on
should be
D.
D's red flag right here is when she's like,
Something's
"No,
up.
I'm not going to let you guys down," and they're like, "We know, sis. I'm proud of you." And then Dennis says that, and then
Yeah.
Charlie's like, "We're all proud of you." Like,
yeah.
like
They've never
that's-
said that before, and they never
yeah,
will.
that's your first red flag. And so then they step up to the table here and they play Flip Cup.
Yeah, they get their Brockmans. Do you notice that?
They're
They get
what?
they get their Brockman's beer. They have cases of Brockman's
Oh,
beer.
Brockmans. Is that a real beer?
No, that's like one of their. It's one of the Always Sunny like fake beers.
Oh,
I think
okay,
I think you talked about it like I don't know, maybe last season or whatever.
Ross, I
Like,
don't remember what
it's hard to
happened.
remember. Yeah, I know. I say
Yeah.
a lot of things too.
Yeah. Yes, they come up. Yes, they play Flip Cup here, and they start, and D can't get past the first cup.
Mm-hmm. And plan's working out perfectly because the guys start cruising, and
Yeah. Don't you love how the gang is acting though? Like, come on, D, come on. They're like kind of acting.
Well,
like,
they're keeping it up. They're keeping up that game of.
And then then the frat guys win, but then we find out about and Ross, there's a twist, and there is a twist.
I was gonna say, here comes the Shyamalan twist.
That they poison them.
Yeah, don't you see? We've already won.
And they sacrifice.
What a fun line, too.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you
Did you see? What is there to see? What are you talking about?
And Charlie goes, you've been poisoned. You just drank poison, and they sacrifice D.
You drank a cup of poison. I like how Charlie's like, I don't know, very in there about that.
Yeah, he likes the poison part.
Yeah, he loves that.
And you can see that they still have paint on them. This is where you can see like this still, because it is the same night. I mean, they came right back to the party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, as Max said, as he left the previous scene, anything to go back to that party.
Yeah, exactly.
The third guy in is I believe the writer of the episode, Dave Chernin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's cool. And they knew Dee would choke, so they put her first. They tell her that we knew they choke, and they start singing the Flippadopia song.
Yeah. Flippadopia.
Yeah, they start doing. Even they're not at Flippadopia.
Yeah, it makes no sense. But Dee starts vomiting, and then you see the frat guys going to town over there.
So then at Patty's, as the gang is trying to remove Frank's skinny jeans, Art Sloan comes to challenge them. And they're just going to have to burn these things off.
I like how Dee's in the corner eating soup in a booth that I don't think I've ever seen before.
Yeah, I never really noticed that booth before. I think they have used it, though. But
yeah, they may have. I just don't, I don't know. It's not in a lot of shots.
Yeah. Now, what is this? Does this remind you of anything them trying to pull off Frank's
cast
jeans?
From... You're talking about Charlie's cast?
I'm not talking. I'm talking about a different. I'm talking about a completely different show, but that is true. That is true too. I'm talking about a completely different show.
Oh no, you got me. I don't know.
Do you remember when Kramer wears jeans and he's on the couch and Jerry's trying to pull him off in literally the same exact way?
Yeah, he's stiff as a board. Yeah.
Yeah. He's
you're right.
on the couch.
I don't know why I didn't think of that. Yeah.
They're yanking at the jeans. Yeah, because they say to Kramer like, you can't wear jeans anymore. Yeah, so it's sort of like they're too tight. They're cutting off the circulation to Frank, and I love that you're gonna burn them off. That's how are you gonna do that?
I don't know. I don't know why they don't cut them off.
Our Sloan comes in, and he comes in hot, and this thing with Dennis like, hey, whoa, pump your brakes. So aggravating.
Slow down for a second. What's your problem exactly?
Yeah, they like don't know this. They like don't know who he is.
Yeah, they forgot who he was.
And he's upset, they vandalized his house, they disrespected his bar, and they didn't even show up.
Show up for what? I'm not kidding. That got me every time. That's my line of the episode on delivery. Show up for what? Like she's truly, so disgust. Like what do you want?
Truly the perfect choice in that moment is
show
to
for
say,
what?
Show for what?
I'm not kidding. I laughed every damn time.
The whole premise of the show, everything they were doing, they were singing Flippadopia.
Yeah, the whole thing you led this episode up to.
Yeah. Show up for what? And they're like, oh, that was today. Flippadopia. That was today? Oh, well, they've moved on.
Yeah, over it.
Because Sloan wants to do it right now. He's like, we'll challenge, let's go. We'll challenge.
Yeah, he wants to take it back to his bar and, go. No.
And they all say no, and that's unanimous no from everyone, so. And he goes out and he slams the door. And
he does an anger fist pump.
They don't like that.
It's
good
very
acting.
Tom Cruise-y to me.
It is, yeah. Well, is it supposed to be like Tom Cruise from Cocktail?
Oh, I thought it was like some sort of Jerry Maguire move.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe, but
I don't know.
He was a bartender in a movie. I don't know if
that's true.
Trying to
yeah.
But and he slams the door, and then they start talking about how disrespectful that is.
Yeah, who slams a door?
I mean, they did this guy's taxes. This jerk off's taxes.
Babies.
Yeah, who slams those babies? Yeah.
That guy's got some real growing up to do.
And just so everyone knows, I'm a legend. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't say that, but like it doesn't come into anything. I am a legend. Like, no one's even talking about it or mentioning it.
He's still on it. He's still
on it.
It's awesome.
And then that's credits. Ross, what's your favorite character?
Dennis.
Dennis. Me too. It has to be Dennis. Like, it's almost 2 Dennis episodes in a row.
I think it might be a 3 for me. I don't even know at this point. It's very Dennis heavy the later this season.
Yeah. And what's your favorite scene?
My favorite scene is Dennis and Frank destroying Artie Sloan's house.
I mean, that's good too, yeah. But I'm going to say them when they first meet the frat guys. The I chug dick thing. The, like, truly Frank's line of, like, look how loose his pants are. Like, shit like that. Like,
that made me laugh every time.
yeah, definitely. It's a really funny thing to say, yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to go there. And what is your favorite line of dialogue?
Oh, yeah. Show for what?
Okay,
and also, I am feeling.
See, I have to go the idiots, savages.
Yeah, to me that's like just a breakout moment, I think.
Yeah.
But like to me, if I had to give a line of dialogue, you know.
Yeah. Then if I'm going the, like other than idiots, savages, then it's the look how loose his pants are. I mean, it has.
Yeah, for sure. It's. It's awesome.
All right, that brings us to our next segment, which is the IMDb Trivia Challenge. These are 3 trivia facts. 2 of them are made up by me. 1 of them is on the website IMDb. Ross, it is your job to guess which one is the real trivia fact, not the ones made up by me.
All right, wish me luck.
Number 1. In 2019, Philadelphia officially changed the city name to Flippadopia. Number 2. The frat Delta Omega Lambda combines Delta Pi, Omega Mu, and Lambda from the Revenge of the Nerd movies. Number 3. No one associated with Always Sunny has ever played Flip Cup.
All right, I'm going number 2.
That's great, Ross. Number 2.
That was interesting. I did not know that's the origin of Delta Omega Lambda.
Are you familiar
with
Revenge of the Nerds?
No, I didn't watch either of those.
I watched it when I was young, but I don't really remember it all.
To me, that reminds me of like a goofy 80s, like I'm a guy with a boner trying to look through a hole, like, you know what I mean? Like movies, you know those movies?
Yeah.
Like Porky's or some shit.
I mean,
like,
it is. I mean, it basically
it's in
is,
that same like neighborhood of movie.
Yeah.
I kind of missed out on a lot of those, I think, for the right reasons.
Yeah. All right, Ross, that brings us to our final thoughts on this episode. Ross, would you cut this episode into rails and blast off? Or is this episode an idiot and a savage?
Oh, I would cut this into rails and blast off every time.
Yeah, definitely. And it's short. It's only 18 minutes long.
It's awesome, though. It moves. I mean, it has a lot of like physical scenes, and I don't know. It's just full of laughs.
I mean, it's very memorable. The Flippadopia thing is huge.
Yeah. It's a T-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. And this is our season finale, of course, because it's the Always Sunny season finale. And, of course, we have to talk about the backwards messages that they always play at the end of each episode.
I'm so glad you remembered, because I didn't want to add more to your work week.
No, I remembered. And, Ross, this is what it sounds like backwards. And this is what it sounds like forwards.
Next stop, Browntown. Next stop, Browntown. Next stop, Browntown.
Oh.
And yeah, they're saying next stop, Browntown. Next stop, Browntown.
What's with them and brown and cats?
They're all brown, and yeah, that's what they do. It's all has something to do with brown. I don't know. Yeah, next stop, Browntown is what they're saying. And Ross, before we get out of here, obviously, let's thank you to everyone out there who threw us some coffee money. That's very cool.
On the Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah,
thank you guys.
Thank you so much. The response was overwhelming, truly.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, thank you guys so much. Again, it's really not something you have to do, and don't feel like you do. Obviously, this is like a little passion project that Eric and I have just been chipping away at. And it's probably going to take forever, and who knows. But, like, we have fun while we do it, and it's a reason to stay connected.
And I got to say to our listeners out there, our listeners are so funny.
Yeah, they are. And that's, like, they threatened for us not to stop. So I'm like, oh, like there's still people listening and enjoying what we do. So
and the little comments and all the coffee things are so funny. Like each one,
I know
everybody has such a different take and like some are such deep cut references.
I know, like someone I don't know who did this, but the Barney get me a coffee. Wait, where's Barney?
Yeah,
I was like, oh
yeah.
shit, that's a good coffee reference.
Incredible! Like, thank you so much for that. That is like, and they truly always make me laugh. And thank you everyone that has emailed and reached out to us. That is always appreciated. Always nice to know we're not screaming into the void.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun
absolutely.
to interact. It's because everybody's so funny.
Yeah.
I love it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Thanks for giving us some fuel.
Yeah, to keep us going. And
You guys are our snortskis.
Yeah, we're blasted off. And of course, we're going to take a little break. We're going to I'm going through a move and everything right now, so I'm just going to take me a little while to get settled. And
Yeah, absolutely. Take your time.
I'm moving further away from Boston, but we're still going to say Boston at the beginning.
Okay.
Don't you think we should still say Boston? You're closer to Boston than I'll be.
I am, but like for how long? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, we're getting further and further away. We're going to have to say
both of us are creeping back.
Yeah, we're creeping away.
Oh yeah. Also, before we go. I still have pins laying around. I have a few that I have to send out. Our England listener, I think Tony's getting one.
Mm-hmm,
I haven't sent those out yet. If you're listening this Wednesday, and I'm gonna mail them. I don't know, sometime next week. Getting to the post office is quite a bitch.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine.
It sucks.
Yeah. Oh, well, Katie, because Katie does like an Etsy thing. Her Etsy, Curly Fry on Etsy. And she, her going to, she's like always going to the post office, and it's like even though we're fairly close to one, but yeah, it's a hassle.
Yeah, the times aren't great.
Ross, is this a Stamps.com ad?
We need a sponsorship, Stamps.com. If you're a company, we will plug you and do awesome ads. So keep that in mind, people.
Yeah, sure. Why not? So thanks everyone for listening. And I guess until next season.
Actually, breaking news, Eric.
Shit.
I know while we were recording, someone wrote in.
Really?
They're informing us that on Hulu, the Christmas episode is out of order. So
really?
on Hulu, it says that the Christmas episode comes out after season 6, but it actually comes out before season 6.
Oh, so we're doing the Christmas special next?
I'm gonna have to look this up to verify
air
dates.
Well, we'll do this during the hiatus. We'll do it in
absolutely.
Yeah,
we'll deliver it right in December for Christmas.
Oh yeah, we'll deliver it for Christmas. That sounds good. Yeah, we'll put a nice little bow on it and toss it out there. That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. Like a movie doing scene by scene. Like it's gonna be Action Boy style.
It's hell.
It's gonna be a 3-hour episode.
It's more. Maybe we'll switch up the format for that one just because it's longer. I don't know. What do you think?
We do almost 2 hours on 22 minutes sometimes.
I know. Yeah, I'm looking at mine. My timer right now. It's like 150. So, what do you say we do like a watch along for that?
We could do that. That could be fun.
The listeners play the podcast and press play at the same time, and they get to listen in with us.
Yeah. The Super Ego podcast, they do a thing where they will sync that up like with a movie, and they'll pretend to be the commentary for that movie. Like they pretend to be the people in the movie.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool thing. It's like a riff track of some sort, right?
Yeah, it's like a riff track of some sort. Yeah, maybe we could try to do that. I mean, it'd be tough though because of how we like do actors and talk about stuff. We can't really break it down if we're doing it that way.
I think we'll be able to squeeze it in.
All right, we'll try. Maybe we'll try something different. We'll see. But yeah, it's a thought. Well, how about our listeners? Let us know if that's a good idea.
How do you want us to cover this? Regular format?
You want installments? You want us to do one big long 4-hour episode, or how are you gonna do it?
What do you want? A riff track or a regular episode? Your choice. I think that's it. Right?
All right, Ross. Ross, I'm probably not going to talk to you until we do the next episode. So
I know. Honestly, yeah. Well, we do have to go to Dave & Buster's, so
that's true.
I'm
we have
holding
to
you to that.
We have to do a Doughboys episode about that.
Yeah.
All
right. So we get our Doughboys, and then we'll have the Christmas. So, guys,
you can look forward to that.
Until next season.
A good day to use.
Always Sunnycast is not endorsed or affiliated with Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the FXX Network, or Philadelphia. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of Eric Regan and Ross Northrop. Email thoughts, questions, suggestions, corrections, or things we just plain forgot to alwayssunnycastpod@gmail.com. And if you have a moment, please rate, subscribe, and review the podcast. And as always, thanks for listening, you jabronis.